Hey everybody, this is Shantavia, and I'm so excited to have with me Ann Griffin, who was a member of the Brand+Business Academy. And thank you for joining me for a few minutes.
Yes, thank you so much, Shantavia. I'm thrilled to be here. I had such a great time in Brand+Business Academy, and it's helped me so much starting my business.
Awesome, awesome. So can we talk a little bit about you and your business? Can you tell folks about yourself and about your business?
Yeah, so I'm Ann Griffin. I'm the founder of Pivot Grow Hustle, and we help people pivot. And specifically, it could be into a new job, it could be into a new career. And then I also work with people where potentially they want to go into entrepreneurship. I'm not the person who teaches them how to be an entrepreneur, but I help them at least figure out that maybe that's the direction they go to, and hopefully, refer them to great things like Brand+Business Academy. And
Wonderful.
yes, and our first product is Attract Your Dream Job, which is a course. It's a 4 to 5 week course that basically helps people figure out what they need to do to get recruited. So people who are tired of staring at the resume and LinkedIn, trying to figure out what they're doing wrong, or they're spending all this time applying for jobs instead of the jobs applying to them, and really gets people set up so that they are, being the one who are being recruited, and that when they are applying, they are getting the most out of their energy. They are doing things the most efficiently. They're not, applying to 100 jobs and hearing back from one. They are finding things where maybe they actually get to skip the job application process. And when they do apply the traditional way, they actually hear back from a real human.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you and I have talked so much about your business and about your website and so many different things. Could you talk a bit about where you were when you started BBA, or I guess before you started BBA, and just what
Yes.
happened during the course for you?
Yes. Yeah. So when I first talked to Shantavia, I have my own personal brand, Ann T. Griffin, which I talk about AI, blockchain, other things. And Shantavia goes to my website and she goes, "Okay, so what is your business about?" And I just described to her what I just described to you. And she's like, "That's wonderful. I love it. I don't see any of that on your website. So let's figure out if we are integrating that into your brand, and this is your new brand. Your brand is, you are the Pivot Grow Hustle brand. Or are we, Pivot Grow Hustle needs to be its own brand," which helped me kind of start off on a really great, that was a really great step for me to separate those out. From there, working with Shantavia, it really helped me better identify and hone in on who my real customers are, which after doing that, it actually became so much easier to find people who were like genuinely interested in taking my course, Attract Your Dream Job. So I was actually doing less work and I was less exhausted. And that was so helpful. And then the other thing that has been so valuable working with Brand+Business Academy is really understanding that IP part of the equation, because I'll admit I did not understand anything about intellectual property. I understood it in terms of, like, my mom's a chemist. I understand she has patents. I did not understand what that meant for my business. I didn't understand what that meant for my class. And now I'm better understanding of how important this class is and how much I can scale it. And I've connected with an amazing lawyer because of Shantavia, who's helping me with my IP. And I'm like super excited about it, thrilled about it. And now I feel like just a lot more secure in kind of the future of my business, because I know people can't come along and just like swipe it out from under me. And I'll say the third thing I really loved about Brand+Business Academy was just the community. The people there that are starting their businesses, you learn so much from them, even if they're in a completely different industry. And it teaches you a lot about things that you can apply to your business, because they are dealing with scenarios you haven't necessarily got to yet, or you can apply to your business, but you want to have thought of, because your business doesn't necessarily deal with those things. So I really loved those aspects of working with you and working with everyone in Brand+Business Academy.
Yeah, so I love that too, right? Because like there's you, and you're in tech, you're in New York. There's a law professor in Miami. There's a judge in Texas. There are all these a dentist in South Carolina. Just all these different people with completely different businesses, but working together toward the same goal. And I felt like that was really it was a beautiful thing to see that I did not plan for, right? Like you
Yes.
never know who's going to show up, but I was so excited you were there in particular because you have like so much going on, like so many people,
Yes.
and working full time, doing all the things that you're doing. Did BBA in any way help you, figure out where to spend your time? Because you have a full time job in tech, you have your other brand,
Yes.
you have this. Could you talk a bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. One of the first things I'm going to say is I was spending all this time trying to do better on social media, which is still very important. And I'm actually working on a challenge through Brand+Business Academy now to create more content. But the thing that I realized I was doing, I was focusing so much in other areas and then neglecting my own email list and realizing I'm like, hey, I have this goal of getting this many people in my class, but I'm not investing in my email list. I'm like, I haven't emailed them in like what I had, nearly 100 people on it. And I was like, I haven't emailed them in 3 weeks and my class isn't full yet, and realizing I'm leaving money on the table. I'm not doing the right things. And there are other things as well. And I kind of was able to step out of Brand+Business Academy and figure out like, if, I need to decide I'm going to say no to certain things, here are the things I need to say yes to be able to meet my business goals.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I love the word no. We have to use it
Yes.
more. Right. And so
Yes.
just final question is you're talking about your business and growing that business and helping people pivot. What's happened since the Brand and Business Academy? Have you gotten new clients? What is the business doing right now?
Yes. So I met my goal for the number of people I wanted to enroll in my first cohort of Attract Your Dream Job. So that was super amazing. The first email that I sent out after my email drought, feeling inspired by what Shantavia was talking about in Brand and Business Academy, I think had like a 50% open rate, which for those of you who don't know anything about emails, like maybe like 20 to 30 is not bad.
Hmm.
So having like a 50% open rate is like pretty great. So, it's allowed me to kind of shift gears in my business and focus on like figuring out, okay, what are the next steps? Even though I'm about to start this class next week, which I'm super excited about, I was able to actually, because I was taking back my time, I was able to use that time to figure out how am I going to scale for the next version and the version after that. And I actually have like numbers calculated. And so getting that time back was really great for me and helped me better plan my business.
Love that
No.
too, Anne. So one other question, if you don't mind. You make me remember something. Early on in BBA, you were talking about pricing and
Yes.
about how to set prices. And one of the things I say often in BBA is very rarely does anybody come to me and I think, oh, you're charging too much. It's usually you're not charging enough. And I think I probably said the same thing to you about
Yes.
you were not charging, or I didn't think you were charging enough. So
Yes.
how did, if at all, how did BBA help you with kind of the pricing and figuring out how much to charge people?
Yeah. So I kind of realized through BBA that I was undercharging, number one. And I was really scared to say that number
Hmm.
over the phone to someone, since right now I'm enrolling people like over the phone just to make sure that we're both a match for each other. And it helped me realize that I'm like, okay, like I was undercharging. And there were people who I've talked to on the phone where they heard that number and they didn't even pause in their speech. And they were like, okay, that's fine. Cool. Can I sign up now? And realizing, how much I was undercharging people and just kind of having that confidence that someone else is like, okay, based on X, Y, and Z, this is a reasonable price for what you're offering.
Great. Great, great. I love it. And I'm so excited to see what you do in the business because I know you have so much to offer. You're going to help people make more money, get better
Yes.
jobs, be happier outside of work, all
Oh
those
my gosh.
things.
Yes. Yeah.
So congratulations to you really for all the things you've done. I'm just happy I got to see you on the rise with
I'm
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just super happy I got to be part of, your first, I think this is for your first cohort of Brand Business Academy. It was so special. And like I would honestly recommend this to anyone, especially people who are incredibly busy and really want to know where to focus their time in their business.
Great. Thank you, Anne.
Yes, thank you.